Sallets, How to Eat Healthy the 1600s Way. This is on The Conversation by authors Katie Gill, lecturer in English, Loughborough University, and Sarah Reed, lecturer in English, Loughborough University. When we think of food in the past, it's often images of Henry VIII with a table groaning with meat dishes that spring to mind. But in fact, our ancestors knew more about the health benefits of eating salads, normally thought of as a cold dish of herbs or vegetables, than we might think. By looking back at the sustainable self-sufficiency of the past, we find there's a lot we can learn about the variety of historical dishes, salad dishes, which cost next to nothing, has no carbon footprint, and might even be beneficial to our health. The diarist, writer, and gardener John Evelyn, 1620 to 1706, pursued his interest in salads in the mid to late 17th century. His model both defined the dish very broadly and showed how you could live on homegrown salads all year round. To Evelyn, the ideal kitchen garden was full of vegetables and fruits that could be grown simply and in great variety. Evelyn even published a whole guide to growing and preparing salads. A Cetaria, a disclosure on Sallets, Sallets is how he wrote it, in 1699. The word salad came into English from the French salade in the 1300s and was in common use by the 1600s. In A Cetaria, Evelyn promotes a low-meat diet, insisting that those who live on herbs and roots live to a ripe old age. He cites classical philosophy to back up his arguments about the, quote, wholesomeness of the herby diet, end quote, citing Plato and Pythagoras of ancient Greece as examples of great thinkers who banished flesh from their table, that is meat. Finally, support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box. Evelyn was not interested in converting people to vegetarianism as such. This is what he declared, but this is not my business further than to show how possible it is, by so many instances and examples, to live on wholesome vegetables both long and happily, he said. In the past year, gardening and growing vegetables has enjoyed a resurgence as a family-friendly outdoor pastime that can also help ease concerns over food shortages. While becoming totally self-sufficient is unlikely, Evelyn's A Cetaria has some tips that the green-fingered grower can use to feed their families, and some advice that could help expand their harvests in an unlikely way. I remember now, before I lose this idea, I remember going to Williamsburg in Virginia, beautiful place. There's a place that you can visit that they have no electricity at all, and they're living as they did in the 1700s. And you can even go and eat the food that they ate in the 1700s. Of course, we didn't, because it was a long line of people waiting. But what we found is that there was a law at that time that the lots had to be very long, going backwards. The house was built at the front of the lot near the road, the street that is, and there was a huge piece of land in the back of the house, and that was there so that people could do their gardening. They could grow their vegetables and fruits there. Isn't that something? That was the law at that time. Now, the gardener's year. The centrality of salads to the diet in Evelyn's manifesto is underpinned with a verse from A Cetaria. He says, "Bread, wine, and wholesome salads you may buy. What nature adds besides is luxury." Now, while the rhyme refers to buying salads, Evelyn points out that such plants are easy to grow, have no fuel requirement in their preparation, are near at hand, and importantly, easy to digest. And nature aids all sorts of things, as highlighted in another work of Evelyn's, Directions for the Gardener, written about his garden at Sayes Court in southeast London. This book contained helpful hints and tips for growing produce for the kitchen table. It's not just the expected salad items such as cucumber and lettuce that Evelyn remarks on, though. He offers daisies, dandelions, and docks as part of the bounty, and as well as cowslips, a type of primrose. These are many other plants that even flourish on compost heaps and waste grounds that could help the gardener be more self-sufficient and at no real cost. Many of the weeds, quote unquote, have to be plucked at the optimum time, and sometimes the roots and stems are boiled to remove the bitterness. In any case, early moderns were wary of raw vegetables because it was believed that if eaten in too great a quantity, they could upset the body. But the key point is that he has a much broader definition of what might be included in the salad family, such as the kind of foraged plants that are making comeback in some high-end restaurants. Some of what Evelyn recommends were new spins on familiar ingredients, so why not pickle the seed pods of a radish to make an attractive addition to your salad dish rather than just using the root? Or cook the stalks of a turnip before it turns to seed, and then eat them boiled and covered in butter like asparagus. A salad fitted for a city feast. This is a flamboyant recipe that Evelyn gives us that upends our view of what a salad can be. Ingredients: blanched almonds, sliced and soaked in cold water. Pickled cucumbers. Olives. Cornelians, it's a kind of cherry which Evelyn claims when picked can pass for an olive. Capers. Capers, I know, when we lived in Cyprus, everybody used to put capers in their salads. Most people don't like them, but they are very healthy. Berries, such as barberries. Red beet, beetroot. Nasturtium buds. Broom. Purslane stalks. Samphire, ash keys, I don't even know what these are. Walnuts, pickled mushrooms, raisins of the sun, citron and orange peel, corinthus or currants, well cleaned and dried. Method: chop all these ingredients, add in some roasted maroons, that's sweet chestnuts, pistachios, pine kernels, lots more almonds, and decorate with candied flowers and sprinkle with rose water. Rose water, oh my, nice. Accompanied with a side dish of pickled flowers in vinegar. The message of Evelyn's book is to use what nature provides. The medicinal garden, called the apothecary or physic garden, brought into sharp focus the beneficial properties of various plants, which they thought able to cure all sorts of complaints. Evelyn would have been proud to see a nation of gardeners and cooks today taking up this self-sufficiency that was so natural to him back in the 1600s. Something for us to reflect on as we enter another new year. This is on The Conversation. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support.